Welcome back to Attic to Basement Estate Cleanouts with Raccoons, where I tell you about some of the 800 houses and apartments I cleaned out in the Washington, D.C. area over 15 years. I still have my cold. This week I thought I would talk about a house in Northwest Washington, which took 6 days and 5 helpers. I billed over $5,000 to the client to empty out this full house with lots of nice furniture in the attic. Most of my jobs weren't that expensive. It took 7 hours for someone to empty the garage. 4 truckloads of trash were taken off the property. One of my helpers convinced not only her son to work with me, but her husband also. One day we worked 6.5 hours, and another day I worked 7.25 hours, while my 5 helpers worked 6.25 hours. It was a large house. Weschler's auction house came on the 4th day we worked on this job and took what could be auctioned. You will see in the photo there were some interesting antique pieces. The metal-lined box, I think, was for linens or papers. It seems too big for food. There was a beautiful trestle table and some wall mirrors. The secretary desk that was in the garage doesn't seem to be popular among young buyers anymore. I only see them in elderly people's homes. They're good for storing bills and papers, as there are so many drawers and slots for things. The next house was in Silver Spring, Maryland. A lawyer asked me to clean it out, and it took 8 days to empty. The last 3 days were short ones, where I worked alone in the house, meeting the junk hauler one day, Associated Auctioneers another day, and the Wagging Tails thrift shop truck on the final day, when they came to pick up all that we had packed up for them, along with some furniture. Wagging Tails' money that it earns goes to Montgomery County Humane Society in Rockville. They were one of my favorite charities to donate to. They were open 6 days a week for long hours, and I could drop off items at a huge warehouse door in the back of the building. The family wanted to keep quilt pieces and model trains that we found in the house. The Vignettes Company came and bought 23 items for $300, from small items like 3 pairs of gloves to a vanity. We took canned food to the Shepherd's Table, which offers meals, social services, medical support, clothing, and other assistance to homeless people in the downtown Silver Spring area since 1983, and they gave us a donation receipt, which I gave to the attorney that hired me. The junk hauler took away 4 loads of trash from this house. We found $104 in change in this house. Most often, we found it scattered across the floor in plain sight. Sometimes we would find a box or a jar with pennies or quarters saved in it in a dresser drawer or in the attic. I would take the coins to the bank where I had my business checking account, and it would get counted, and if the lawyer agreed, I would apply that money to my invoice. All the tellers at Sandy Spring Bank got to know me because I would come in with plastic or cardboard boxes full of change, sometimes having to make 2 or 3 trips to my car. One of the tellers would come around to the front lobby to take the boxes from me and put it through their change machine. Picking up change from the floor meant there were dust bunnies and hairpins or screws mixed in. I tried to pick out what I could see, but if you have a shoebox full of mixed change, it could be very hard to find what didn't belong. I felt bad when the machine jammed, sometimes because Canadian money was mixed in. We found money on almost every job I ever worked on. And just for your information, if you find paper money with the words silver certificate written at the top, that money is worth more than the dollar amount printed on the paper. One time I had cleaned out an entire man's wardrobe closet, and at the bottom of a shoe rack was a bank envelope full of $10 bills. If I had just swept it up without looking, no one would have missed it. I would guess that some of the money was hidden away for emergencies that never happened, and some were due to people being afraid the banks would not be able to dispense money when Y2K rolled around. There was a lot of discussion about banks and cash registers not working on January 1 of 2000. Enjoy the photos at the end. Please subscribe so you won't miss an episode. Leave a comment. if you'd like, and take a look at my Facebook page called 800 Houses, 800 Jobs, where I post more photos from each job.